So I joined the Royal Regiment of Wales in 1994 as a British Army officer in perhaps the finest regiment in the Army. And then I had a traditional career path. And I became a major in 2007, I think it was. And over the next 2 years, had two tours to Afghanistan, one in 2007 and one in 2009. As a company, what they call a company commander, when I got blown up and suffered a brain injury from when shrapnel smashed through the back of my brain. I was then medically discharged about 2 years later, having never worked from the day I got blown up. So I was injured on the 4th of July, and they couldn't deal with my injury, with a brain injury in Afghanistan in the medical facilities because they didn't have the neurological capability. I arrived at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital in Birmingham for brain surgery. Now I specify the Queen Elizabeth Hospital because that was actually a civilian ward. Then 5.5 weeks later and sent to Headley Court, which is a military rehab centre. I was initially there for a 3.5 week assessment. I persuaded Headley Court, the staff, myself, that I should be discharged, that there was nothing wrong with me, I was fine. And so I was discharged, spent the next 5-6 months at home on sick leave. And it's during that period that I realised that there were difficulties that I had with my brain. And so I was almost pleading to go back to Headley Court and was readmitted in March 2010. I wasn't fit enough to remain in the military as an officer. I have absolutely no issues with the support that I receive from the NHS, specific to me. I have had even better experiences with the Brain Trust in Nottingham, the Brain Service. Why is that? Is because they had a lot of empathy for me, and they came with simple things like they came to the house, they came to see me. There weren't any demands placed on me. They were very supportive, but importantly, they were there to help the family if they wanted support and help as well. For me, the military covenant and support from the NHS is not about focus, but maybe I'm being pedantic, but it's about looking at the whole piece for this individual. When you leave, you lose that self-actualization bit. You leave your job, your career, what you live for every single day. You lose with that, you're bound to lose your confidence, and you're going out into the real world, into this civilian, strange world, and that's going to impact on your confidence. You lose the social environment, which is unique to the military, and that all goes. Now, I refer to Maslow's hierarchy of need, American psychologist, and wrote that man is motivated by some specific needs. Physiological, starts at the bottom, physiological, safety, social, self-esteem, self-actualization. And once man becomes satisfied in those fundamental needs, he or she progresses to the next one and wants to be satisfied in those. Now, the problem with the military to civilian transition is that when you're in the services, the military provides all of those needs. But it's about pride, and it's about feeling very confident in your own ability and your own self. And when you're injured, that can disappear very quickly. And because of the uniqueness of the military and that lifestyle, when I come to you as a very fragile, insecure individual, as a veteran, potentially fragile, I come to you and I'm probably put off by you straight away because I think there's a barrier, because you don't understand what I've been through. I think military veterans should be prioritised in terms of their the medical support, if it's specific to their injury, which has been caused by service. I think it should be prioritised for two main reasons. The first one is because, and we knowingly do this, but when we sign up for the military, we lose a lot of our civilian and constitutional rights. And so immediately we sacrifice a lot of the rights civilians have and that you expect. We come under military discipline, under military law, under military direction, authority. And if you look at, quid pro quo, we've given so much of ourselves to the service, which is it's a cliche, but it is about serving the country. One would hope then that you would get something in return when you become injured. That and the other aspect, which is when you leave the military, you lose potentially so much more than just a job. You lose the accommodation, you lose clothing, they provide food, the basics, housing, education. You lose so much, and being injured as well is just going to compound all those insecurities and difficulties that a veteran will have.